I've taken some time away from my canvas, and I feel like we should be talking about the value of the pause in the moments where the high and exuberance of creating no longer feels easeful. I find myself falling into this lull and being called to come back to my inner world of creation. Being an artist is so much more than just creating art. It is living the art. It is perceiving the art, and I give myself grace and compassion and time, because this is a life's work. So I've taken a month away from my canvas, not abandoning my creativity entirely, but sinking into permission to rest and reflect and receive insights, clarity. And the lessons of this season. To allow this moment of incubation to last just a little bit longer. I have still been drawing in my sketchbook, as always, and for me, my sketchbook, I just began a new sketchbook, and like all of my sketchbooks, it feels very much like this sacred timeline of where I am at in my creative journey. Different to a canvas or a project that exists on its own, I have committed and devoted to the story that my sketchbook is for me, and I can share that with the world, but there isn't the same expectation that it is for consumption or anything other than my own journey as an artist. So yeah, I can show you guys. We'll do a little sketchbook haul. Some of the works that have been inspired by nature and the guides communicating to me in the moment. And a lot of the time I'll start on a piece and just allow the flow to move the way it wants to, and then come back to it when I feel called. But I'll really try to commit to not moving on to a new piece until I've finished one. I sometimes break my own rules, but this was the first, and as you can see, like, there are many different parts, and they were all created over a myriad of days. And then we have her. I like to call her sad little ghost girl. So yeah, this is sad little ghost girl, and she is conveying a lot to me about the time, the moment, the feelings that I was experiencing when I drew her, feeling isolated, and most of that being from my own self-isolation, and also, yeah, like in this aura of sadness, but also whimsy. And yeah, I love her. I see her as a future rock star. I just have some random sketches here, and sometimes these messages appear, and this one was just like I see through illusion. Not really artful, but this one's nicer. In a state of a bit of paranoia, I would say, questioning if I was safe, am I safe? and then just responding with that kind voice, that compassionate voice. Yes, love, breathe, like just take a breath. And yeah. And then I have her, who I really enjoy. And she actually started out as just this death wizard holding a candle and a little moth. I don't know if you can see her. And I was thinking of making her into like a cartoon and having little speech bubbles and being like, the moth being like, can I touch it? And death being like, yes. Death humor, if you will. But then I felt called to take it into a more psychedelic direction, and I'm really happy with how she turned out. This was really fun to blend watercolor and colored pencils together, which I haven't done before. So yeah, I'm constantly being surprised by new creative mediums and following the impulses to switch things up is keeping my creative process exciting and not feeling like a chore or a drag or responsibility. It is purely for play and growth. I love you, sketchbook. My artist eye gravitates towards texture and color. I feel like each time I absorb something beautiful, I am collecting a little orb that I can put in my backpack to express into art at a later moment.